Okay, guys, how are you? I hope you're well.
Yes. You?
Fine.
Okay, now you are supposed to be seeing my screen. Let me see. Today, guys, we're going to be working with adjectives. Okay, adjectives. I'm going to give you like a list. We're going to do a list together of more difficult and advanced adjectives, and later we are going to do better. Now we are going to do ing or infinitive. I'm explaining to you right now what this is. So. Okay, so you should know, guys, that after certain verbs, we put ing or the infinitive. How do we know it? By the use, okay, by the use. So instead of giving you a list and then you just completing, I just want you to try to do it, okay, without the theory, okay, because you may know this already when you speak and all of this, you may be used to seeing this. So guys, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pass the document and I'm going to give you time for you to complete it. You have 20, well, this is not questions, but lines or something like that. Well, just to practice the verbs, okay? And then I will ask you to do your own list of verbs followed by ing, but this will be done later, okay, with my help. Okay, so first of all, without theory, I want to know if you know this. So I'm going to pass this, okay, and I'm going to give you time. Guys, this is, I suppose all of you know this, okay, but in case you don't know or you have doubts, this is, you have to complete with the gerund or with the infinitive. So we arranged to meet or we arranged meeting, okay? This is very important when we speak any in any context, okay? And let's see, I'm going to give you time and then we will see, okay? I'm giving you time without theory.
Guys, have you finished?
We start correcting.
More or less.
More or less? Okay. Yes, Irene says yes. Yes, okay. Now I will want that you create your own list. Okay. So guys, normally, well, I'm going to write it here. Okay. Normally, if you want to put a verb after another verb, okay, you need to put them together somehow, okay? I'm going to put these guys. I'm with the microphone of the headphones. Okay.
So, for example, you may say, I want to go. Okay, so you're putting together one verb and you want to put together the other verb. Okay, so you need to. In this case, why? Because want requires to. Guys, this is going to happen 90% of the times that you have to put to. So if you have doubts, guys, just put to. Okay, because this is the common thing. Okay, sometimes we don't put anything. You can say I can go with modal verbs. You don't put anything. Okay, so nothing with modal verbs. And our third category is ing. For example, let me think. Imagine walking through the sky. Okay, so I need to put ing because imagine requires me to put ing. Why? This is the usage. This is usage of language, usage of language. So there is no reason, okay? Normally, yes, there is a reason that this can be replaced by an object, but well, it doesn't work all the 100% of the time. So guys, the rule is that you put to put two verbs together. One verb, we have to put them together somehow with to, okay? With modal verbs, we are not going to have to put them together with nothing. I mean, one after the other, okay? But then there is a category of verbs that require ing. Okay, so I want you to create a list which is called verbs followed by ing. You should know that there are verbs like love, like, hate, enjoy. Okay, then we've got fancy. I'm going to put some, okay, because I'm telling you by heart. Miss, mind. Would you mind closing the door? I don't fancy going out. Fancy is like, okay. Let me think. Imagine, as I have said, suggest. Okay, we're going to be adding. We're going to be adding. Then we've got some phrasal verbs. Okay, look forward to plus ing, for example. Okay, we've got expressions like feel like, to feel like. Doing something is that you want to do something so much. Feel like, muchas ganas de. Tener muchas ganas de. Okay, so I'm just putting some of them by heart, like put off, which is postpone. Postpone. Keep up. If you have a preposition, the verb is also going to be followed by an ing form. Okay, so what else? Well, we have many, not many, but maybe 15, 20, something like that, and expressions. Okay, so for example, we are going to practice these a lot, so don't worry too much. So you're going to be creating your own list, okay, from the examples. Avoid, deny, evitar, deny, negar, What else? Give up, rendirse, okay? Most of phrasal verbs are going to be followed by ing. This is not a rule, but most of the phrasal verbs are going to be followed by a gerund, okay? Ing is the gerund, okay? This is a synonym. And guys, what I want to tell you is that this list is open, okay? So let's try to do the exercise, okay? So as we are progressing in the course, you can add more and more verbs that are always followed by ing. Then we've got, guys, exceptions as always in everything, okay? So we've got exceptions, for example, the verb stop, okay? So for example, he stopped to walk and he stopped walking. The first mean that he stopped his way in order to walk, to start to do another thing, okay? He stopped, the meaning is that he stopped his way in order to start a new activity, okay? In this case would be walking, the action of walking, okay? And he stopped walking is that he stopped strolling, okay? He stopped doing the activity. He stopped doing the activity, okay? So that in Spanish, if you've got I'm going to pass a document with the exceptions. Guys, you are going to create the list, okay? You are going to be the ones to create the list, but I'm going to give you the word, a word with expressions, okay? Sorry, with exceptions, sorry. So he stopped to walk. He stopped in order to start a new activity. This is él paró para, in Spanish we say, paró para andar, okay? And he stopped walking is that he stopped doing the activity. Well, this is not necessary. Él paró de andar, okay? So sometimes the same verb can be put with to or ing, but guys, this is the context. They are context dependent. Okay, this is context dependent. Why we put he stopped to walk and he stopped walking? Well, depending on the context and so on. Okay, for example, we've got remember. For example, remember to close when you leave, for example, or remember closing when you leave. Okay, so the difference in here, guys, would be that remember to close means a future event, a future activity. So for example, we are in a meeting and I say to the other person, please remember to close when you leave, okay, because this is a future event, a near future event. And remember closing when you leave, it refers to a past event, okay, even though this is in present, okay, and we don't have a subject. You know that when we are speaking in more advanced levels, in more informal levels, okay, we don't have to put the auxiliaries or the subjects, okay? I always tell you, guys, put the subject, guys, put the auxiliary verb, but when we are speaking in informal language, we don't use subjects or we don't use auxiliary verbs. So this is with ing. In the case of remember, it means a past event. Okay. Remember to close. Recuerda cerrar. Okay, and remember closing, ¿te acuerdas de haber cerrado? Okay, this is not with an auxiliary or with a subject for the reason that I'm telling to you. For example, in normal English, we say, did she go yesterday to the park? This is normal English, but in informal conversations, okay, as we're advancing, we say, she went to the park. She went to the park yesterday. Well, I don't. So we don't put the auxiliary, okay? Or if I'm asking someone, okay, I want to ask someone, for example, if that person has gone to the park, for example. So instead of saying, hey, David, have you gone to the park? I would say in informal English, were you in the park? Or went to the park yesterday? Went to the park yesterday would be have you been to the park yesterday? Okay, guys, so what I want to tell you is that in informal English, sometimes we don't put the subjects and we don't put the auxiliary verbs. And that is why people say it is difficult to understand English in normal spoken conversations. Why? Because they don't use auxiliaries, they speak faster, we don't use subjects. Okay, so went to the park yesterday. Okay, or for example, if I say bought some bread, in this case, I is understood. Hey, what have you done today? Bought some bread. Bought some bread, meaning I have bought some bread. Okay, guys, so this is important. This is more advanced. Okay, and well, this is just for you. I was giving these examples to you just for you to understand this meaning that you may think. Remember, closing is imperative, Marta. Yes, but sometimes we don't put the subject in informal speech, and we may refer to the past. Okay, so that is why you are going to be the ones doing the list, but I'm going to provide you with the exceptions, and of course they're going to be in Spanish just in case you don't know. So let me see the exceptions where I put them. Okay, this is what I have already explained to you with remember, forget, regret, try, and stop. Okay, so you can read it, you can have a look at this, and well, you have the theory in Spanish, okay, so that it can be useful. Okay, so I'm going to pass this document to you, for example, with, let's see, to try. Este verbo, cuando va seguido de to, se refiere al objetivo de una persona o a la finalidad con la que intentamos algo. I am trying to save money. I am trying to, okay? We have put to here. Si lo usas con el gerundio, la palabra clave para recordarlo es experimento. Se refiere a una posibilidad o forma de hacer algo. Okay, so their context. Remember that the key is that we have different context, and the easiest is the example with a stop, that it will depend on the context. Okay, I'm going to pass this, and well, this is not going to be difficult, because now when we are correcting, you will see that this is not difficult. So I'm going to be doing the sentences, and this is easier if we put all of this into practice. Try to remember these verbs, guys. Try to remember these verbs, and when you speak, try to reactivate your mind using them, okay? So let's see. First, we arranged to meet under the station clock at 9:30. 2, I always try to avoid seeing him whenever I can. Okay, so avoid should be included in your list. This is your list, so avoid should be there, okay? I long to be in Scotland again. To long as a verb, I'm going to give you just another. Long is an adjective meaning largo, okay? But when long is a verb, it means anhelar, okay? So always, guys, when you're looking up a word in a dictionary, yes, it was to meet, Maria, to meet. You're welcome. When you're looking for a word, okay, always see these, guys. Are you looking for a verb? Are you looking for an adjective? In this case, if you don't know, I long, but long is largo. I don't understand the sentence. So it must be a verb. So when you go to a dictionary, look up for this V and you will see another meaning, okay? So for example, guys, house as a noun, casa. To house as a verb, albergar. You understand? Water is a noun, agua. To water, regar. Okay, so you have to see what you're looking up in a dictionary. So be careful with these. Try to always see these things. Okay. So long in this third sentence means anhelar. Y hemos dicho, although you don't know, we've said that 90% of the cases it is going to be with to. So guys, if you have doubts in the exam, well, you should try to put to. Okay, so I long to be in Scotland again. The first was to meet, the second was seeing, the third was to be. 4, my mom demanded to see the manager. 5, my brother denied eating my chocolate mousse. Maybe his hamster ate it. My brother denied eating. 6, I tried to understand, but I couldn't. But I just couldn't. 7, in the end, I gave up trying to persuade her. Trying. Eight, Charlie was pretending to be a chicken. He was pretending to be. Fingir, okay? Pretend. 9, they chose to stay in a cheap hotel but spend more money on meals. 10, we like, in English we say Galicia, okay, Galicia, so much that we keep going back there, keep going. Good. 11. He deserves to be severely punished. He deserves to be. So, some teachers and in some photocopies, you are asked to put the words of the gerund here, of the infinitive in here. But my advice, my piece of advice, guys, is that you learn a list with the verbs followed by ing and the rest go with to unless they are modal verbs. Okay, this is the easiest way of learning all of these. So just write the ing verbs. 12. When we visit my aunt, they expected me to be on my best behavior. To be. 13. I didn't mean to hurt her feelings. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to hurt. No pretendía. I didn't mean to whatever. "14. I always put off doing." Put off is a phrasal verb meaning postpone. Okay, so I always put off doing my homework until the last possible moment. 15. He goes on telling. Why? Because I told you that after a preposition, the verb which follows is with ing. Okay? He goes on telling me the same thing over and over again. 16. I can't stand waiting in the queue at the baker's. So waiting. So we would add here a stand, okay, which is tolerate. I cannot stand. I cannot tolerate. I cannot put up with that. Standing. No, sorry, I can stand waiting in the queue at the baker's. No soporto esperar en la cola de la panadería. Queue. Remember that the pronunciation. 17. The fireman managed to put out the fire pretty quickly, and to put out a fire means apagar un fuego. ¿Vale? Apagar es turn off, for example, or switch on the TV, turn off the lights. But when it comes to a fire, you have to use put out. Put out a cigarette, put out a fire, okay? Not put out the TV, okay? That would be switch off. 18. I never risk going. So risk would be in our list. I'm going to show you the list in a moment. I never risk going through that part of town. 19. Claire offered to take me to the airport, which was very kind of her to take. And the last one, that threatened to stop my pocket money if I didn't do my homework. To stop, okay, in this case. So I'm showing you the list, just if you want to copy some of these. But well, guys, this is it. This is our little list that will be made bigger, will be enlarged when we add more verbs. Okay, so this is it, guys. Just learn by heart these. Well, not by heart. I mean, we have practiced these, and try to put after these verbs the ing. For example, in the case of love, like, the difference between I like cooking or I like to cook is routine. If you say I like cooking, this is something general. If you say I like to cook, it means it's a routine. But well, I would put ing always, and that's it.
Marta, I have a question.
Exceptions, as always in anything.
Marta, can you hear me? I'm Rachel. Marta? Marta?
Okay. So, well, I'm going to give you time to make the list in case you haven't copied. If I don't understand, I don't really understand your question. I suppose that you say that if these verbs are in the past, are you telling me that?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Before it was impossible to communicate with you, but my question is, when we were making the exercise, we had a lot of verbs in the past, followed by two mass infinitive tense by the verb. And perhaps is a rule or no, or isn't a rule, or is
you can. The rule is that if you see this verb conjugated in any tense, okay, it is going to be followed by a gerund. Imagine you have suggest, okay? So imagine I have this sentence. I suggest in the present going to the cinema, because this is what tense is this. You should focus on this. This is present, okay? Maybe you have I suggested yesterday going to the cinema. Okay, so you have here suggested, but going and going is the same. Imagine you have I will suggest tomorrow to my friends. You can have more things in like in the middle. To my friends going to the cinema. Okay, so guys, remember in this case it would be a future. So it is not the tense in which the verb is. We need this verb in any tense. It is going to be followed by going. We have going here, and going here. Okay, so in this case the rule is not because this is present or past. It is because the rule is suggest.
Okay, but perhaps it's a coincidence, but in the exercise I found a lot of verbs at the first word in the past, like for instance, if you go to the first, is in the past, and for instance, if you go the need, demanded, some verbs are followed, but for the two to massive infinitive. And perhaps I confuse, but by that condition. But if you explain me, it depends on the verb.
No. No. It is only this, okay? I think the exercise is like mixing the present, the past. You have ing here just for you to recognize the verb. Just that. So
okay.
It is a coincidence.
Okay, I do understand. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Marta.
You're very welcome. So that's it, guys. This is because of the verbs. No, this is, for example, you may be wondering why this is in bold. This is in bold for doing like the activity and so on. But, well, arranged followed by to. Avoid, ing. Denied, ing. Give up, ing. Choose, to. Deserves, to. Put off, ing. Manage to, risk, ing. Threaten, to. Okay, but I think that, well, you just learn this, and maybe we add more verbs to this list. Okay, so guys, that was a coincidence. Maybe this is in the present, this in the past. That's a coincidence. Just this is for you to practice. Okay, so this is it. More doubts, guys? I mean, don't be shy. No doubts? Okay. No? Okay, Irene. Thank you. So now I'm going to be giving you some vocabulary, some adjectives which are more difficult, okay? I take for granted, dar por hecho, I take for granted that you know simple adjectives like hardworking, thin, narrow, wide, small, short, tall, high, these type of things. Okay, but you may not know other types of adjectives, okay? What we're seeing now, I'm going to put this like this. Adjectives like C1, C2, okay? Because they are, well, this is what you are going to be asked. You're not going to be asked in the exam, tall, short, this type of things. And this is, guys, this is not only for the exam. This is just for you to learn more English. So I'm going to start giving you like adjectives. So the first adjective is greedy. When someone is greedy, they want to have many things, okay? Maybe in a negative way, okay? So I'm going to tell the when they are confused, I'm going to tell you in Spanish, because if not, it will be impossible to explain it to you. Greedy, when you want a lot of things, okay? You are not ambitious, but you're like codicious. This is avaricioso, greedy, avaricioso, okay? So we're like making a list now together, okay? I mean, I'm not passing you a list. We are doing it in the go. Okay, greedy. We've got, let's see another, sympathetic. This is kind of sympathetic. This is kind of a false friend. Why? Because this seems to be simpático, but simpático is nice. Simpático is nice, okay? So this is, sorry. So this is a false friend. And sympathetic is when you have empathy, okay? So compasivo, okay? I'm going to be writing like avaricioso, compasivo. Nice would be simpático. Ah, he's a very nice girl. Es una chica simpática. Oh, he's a very nice girl. Sympathetic. Well, I'm not going to put it in Spanish, all of them, but I'm going to write in English. Let's see, educated. Educated, for example, is another false friend. Guys, advancing in English is knowing collocations, phrasal verbs, and more adjectives, and so on. Because grammar I mean, we will review grammar, some grammar things, okay? But this is it. Learning English is knowing more vocabulary in general. So educated is another false friend because this is not educado. Educado is polite. Y lo contrario de polite is rude. When you are not polite, you are impolite. So that's rude. And educated is when you have knowledge of many things. Okay, well, you have studied, or in general, if you haven't studied, you have knowledge about certain things. And this is culto, educated. Okay. Okay, so I suppose I take for granted that you know nice, polite, rude, impolite, but we're saying to write if other adjectives appear. What else? Let me think. Absent-minded. Absent-minded, for example, when someone is not paying attention to a class or something, and you are thinking of another things, and you are absent-minded. This means, this is in Spanish despistado. Okay, when you think of another thing, or you're not paying attention. Despistado. Absent-minded. Many adjectives are going to be like that. Okay, they are going to be two-part adjectives. Let's see more. This is just for you to have the list and, well, start to think about all of this. We have bunkers. Bunkers, guys, is like crazy, is like mad. Okay, so bunkers. Of course, there are differences between those, among these words. Okay, we don't have, we never have the same meaning. Okay, if not, it would be stupid to have the same meaning. We have synonyms, okay, which is not the precise meaning. Okay, this is not loco, 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 but this is bonkers is majareta, crazy, chalado, mad, loco. Okay, as in Spanish we have, for example, chalado, loco, demente, majareta. Okay, all related to the sense of loco, right? Or crazy. Okay, but they are slightly different in meaning. Okay, so but more or less the same. Okay, bonkers is like crazy, mad. I'm thinking of more. I don't come up with others. Okay, so they are never 100% synonyms. This is what I want to tell you. Gullible. All of them are adjectives. Okay, guys, so don't be confused with that. Gullible. And this means that you are easily deceived. Easily deceived means crédulo, ingenuo. Okay. Okay, well, this is not, once you put them into practice, it won't be difficult. Okay, just they will form part of your current vocabulary. Conceited. Conceited means engreído. Okay, Engreído. I don't know how to explain that using English without giving a translation into Spanish, guys. Engreído. So that you look down on people. You look down on people. I don't know, because you think you are more posh, or you think you have more money than others and you feel you are superior. I don't know how to explain. Conceited. Nosy. Nosy, sorry, nosy. This is that you put your nose in all matters. You put your nose in all matters. So, guys, this is entrometido. Okay. When you're discussing about many different things, about stupid things maybe, or about anything, when you're always discussing and always being boastful, this is good. To be grumpy is ser un gruñón, okay? Grumpy. We've got easygoing. Maybe you know this. An easygoing person is someone who, well, is difficult to manage situations with this person. For example, hey, do you want to go to the cinema or to the theater? I don't mind. Do you want to go to a restaurant or to my house? I don't mind. Okay, this is a person who adapts easily to different situations. Okay, es de trato fácil, we would say. Is an easygoing person, is a person de trato fácil. Okay, something like that. Yes, perfect. Raquel, perfect. Complaciente, yes.
Marta?
Yes.
Sorry, which is the difference between I don't mind or doesn't matter?
I'm going to write it here, okay? I don't mind, or it doesn't matter. Oh, sorry. I don't mind. No me importa. Yeah, there is a difference. There is a difference. I don't mind. You're personalizing that you don't mind. Okay, it is you that the one that doesn't mind a situation or whatever, and it doesn't matter. When you say it doesn't matter, you're making it more general. No pasa nada. It sounds softer. It sounds softer, más suave este, ¿vale? To make it more general, like, it doesn't matter. I don't mind, maybe depending on the context and depending on your voice, it may sound rude and more impolite, like, I don't mind, no me importa, a mí que me importa, ¿vale? Podría tener esa connotación, okay? They're the same, but it doesn't matter is softer because it is more general. You are not personalizing. It says it. Okay, so in here you say I don't mind.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You can ask whatever comes to your mind. I mean, this is good if you have questions. So easygoing, complaciente, yes, very good. Let's see another. I want to write this. This is very easy, guys. This is not a false friend. This is what it seems to be. But the thing is that I want you to pay attention to that, to how this is written. Irresponsible, irresponsible. Are you an irresponsible person? No es, es irresponsable, but we don't say irresponsible. Irresponsible, okay? So I wanted to just you to pay attention to that. Forgetful. When you forget things, you are a forgetful person. We say olvidadizo. Forgetful. Okay, more. Clumsy. Clumsy is, for example, clumsy when you drop things. When you drop things without wanting, of course, or you make a mess of everything, but you don't want, you are clumsy, okay? For example, you disorder your table, or you drop things when you are cooking, for example, patoso, okay? Or you sleep es resbalarse, okay? This is not an adjective. When you sleep, or these things, you're clumsy, patoso or patosa. You know that adjectives does not have a gender in English. In Spanish, they do have a gender, like patoso, patosa, but in English we say clumsy, and that's it. And never, guys, never put an S. Never put an S in. So we would say they are clumsy. They are clumsy, no, they are clumsies, or something like that. Okay, so be careful. And always, depending on everything depends on context, guys, but always 90% of the times they are going to be preceding the noun, okay? Clumsy boys. So you put the adjective and then you put the noun. This seems very easy, but when you're speaking or when you're writing a lot and you make many lines, like, you forget a little bit about this, okay? For example, when you have the smartest person, okay, when you put the superlative, you may sometimes forget this thing. So remember, never put S, and always the adjective is going to be before the noun. Some of them are not before, but these are exceptions. Okay, let's see more adjectives. I'm going to erase this. Wimpy. Wimpy is a person who is crying all the time, okay? For stupid things. I'm saying the word stupid quite a few times. For nonsense things, for things that are not really important, okay? For example, kids tend to be wimpy when they don't get the things they want. And this is to be ñoño. Ñoño, that's it. This is wimpy, okay? To be crying, to be protesting about something, and all of these. Resentful, for example, is when you have resent towards another person because this person has done something bad to you, and you feel resent, you feel contempt towards the other person, and you are resentful. This is, how do you call it? Rencoroso. Flabbergasted. Flabbergasted is when you're shocked, when you have been surprised. Estar atónito, okay? You see that these words in Spanish, we don't use them so much. I mean, we use them, but not as tall, short. So in English, it is the same. We don't use very much these words, but this word, flabbergasted, has been in 3 exams. So they like this word, flabbergasted, atónito, okay, like shocked. When you're surprised, you are taken aback. Stingy, stingy. Be careful with the pronunciation. It's not stingy, it's stingy. Stingy is a selfish. This is a synonym for selfish. And this is a synonym for egoist, exists in English. So you can say egoist. This is stingy. But stingy has a connotation of being a little bit roñoso, okay? So egoist in the sense of money, okay? With the connotation of money. Let's see 3 more and that's it. Another day we will continue. Cranky. Cranky is that you are a little bit maniac. Maniac in English means crazy. Cranky is that when you want to have everything organized, for example, and this is like a mania, okay? Maniatico, cranky, okay? So you can be cranky about whatever thing, collecting things, or about clothes, or about personal hygiene. I don't know. You can be cranky about whatever thing. Let's see 2 more. Well, I mean, we could be sat here in front of the computer seeing more and more and more adjectives. I mean, we're gonna stop because I think this is good for you, that they are a lot. I'm conscious of that. We said wimpy, wishy-washy. I like this, wishy-washy. Wishy-washy means so-so, okay? So-so is dull. Also, we say wishy-washy or dull. Well, so this is so-so. I don't know how to explain that. Que no tiene chispa, ¿no? So this is wishy-washy. I mean, this word is quite curious. And when you refer to food, when you refer to food, no, you don't. You could say dull, but savory. Let me think. Savory. Let me think, because savory is salado, and I just forgot. Está so-so. Well, you can say plain, but this is not the word. This is not the word I was looking for. Give me just one second. Savory, salado, so-so. Let me think. I'm blocked. It's different. No, you don't say wishy-washy. You say, well, you could say tasteless, like without taste. Bland. I think bland. This is bland. En el sentido de sin sal. Bland, without salt. And dull or boring, that would be, well, when you're so-so, you are boring. So that would be in the sense of, you're very welcome, Maria. Bland. Me salía. No me salía, pero se puede decir tasteless, like without taste, without, yes. Or the same, salado, insipid, yes. That sounds like very posh, like está insípido, it sounds like, but yes, you could say insipid, of course. Savory, salado, or you could say too tasty. If you don't remember the words, you don't have to know every word in English or in Spanish or in any other language. You just have to take your, like, guys, to take your brain out of your head. This means, like, well, you have to turn to your background knowledge, turn to recurrir, turn to your background knowledge. ¿Que no sabéis cómo se dice salado? Pues digo, muy sabroso. Ok, too tasty. Que no me acuerdo cómo se dice soso, como no me salía bland, pues digo tasteless. Ok. Turn to era recurrir. Just in case you want to learn that phrasal verb. And let's see, I don't know if this was the last one, but well, in any case, we're seeing another. Okay, the last one is going to be indolent, and indolent is sluggish. I don't know if you know the word sluggish, but sluggish is lazy. Indolente is lazy. Perezoso, sluggish. Okay, so I think you have quite a few things. Gonna put them like that, just in case you want to. We have many columns today. Okay, so greedy, sympathetic. Well, we said nice, educated, polite, rude, impolite, absent-minded, bunkers, gullible, conceited, nosy, grumpy, easygoing, irresponsible, okay, or responsible, forgetful, clumsy, wimpy, resentful, flabbergasted, stingy, which is the same as selfish, cranky, maniático, wishy-washy, so-so, and in the other set without salt, it is bland, and with too much salt, savory. And indolent is sluggish, which is lazy. Okay. So I think that's well. We can continue another day. Could you repeat the meaning? Sluggish is indolent, lazy. María, lazy. Perezoso. Vago. Hay muchísimos adjetivos en inglés. You're very welcome. Many adjectives. And in Spanish also, but well, in English you have many of them. Why? Because some of them have a Latin origin or a Greek origin. Like this is ironic, for example. This is ironic. You have the Greek, in this case, the Greek word, but also then you have like the Germanic word, which is wry. A wry smile, una sonrisa irónica. A wry smile. So this is why we have lots of adjectives in English. So this is impossible to know all of them, but well, I'm going to try that you learn most of them. What are we doing now? And then we have synonyms, okay, within the adjectives that we already know. For example, we know thin, but an adjective would be slender, okay, for example, or this type of things, guys. So many things. What are we doing now? I'm going to explain to you the part that you're going to be, well, I don't know if I'm going to, we don't have time to do it, but, well, we can do it. I'm going to explain it to you right now. And then we will continue the following day because, well, I'm going to teach you now is we're going to practice one part of the reading. Remember, guys, this is something for you to remember. APTIS Advanced is C1, C2. Remember that. So if you want the C1, very good. Okay, but there are going to be things that are C2. Okay, so the last part, for example, of the reading part, it is C2. The writing, the final part is C2. Okay, you understand? Okay, so it goes harder as it progresses. So what we are going to practice is part number 4. Ah, no, sorry, it's part number 2. Yes, it's number 2, sorry. Because in APTIS, general is number 4. That's why I was puzzled. I was confused. Okay, so in the second part, you have to associate one title or some sentences, guys, to the different paragraphs of a text. And it is usual that we have extra ones. Okay, so for example, I'm going to show you. Reading. So well, it says part 7 because it was another part in, don't worry about the part. So this is part 2. Okay, so in part 2 of the exam, be prepared to read a lot for the exam. Okay, I don't want to put you down. No os quiero deprimir, but I'm telling you the truth that it is going to be a lot to read in the exam. So you are going to be prepared, don't worry. So guys, in this part, which is part 4, is part 2, although it says part 7 in here, what you have to do is, well, you have a text, okay, with missing parts. The missing parts are here, okay? And what do you have to do? Just to put these in the gap that they best fit. Okay, so it says fluttering down to Mexico. This is a text about butterflies. And just for you to see the level, this is C1. This is not C2, eh? This is C1. So what are you doing with text when we do texts in class? First, you want to do the activity, okay? But in the meantime, also, you want to extract the words that you don't know and write them on a notebook, for example, for you to study the words that you don't know. Okay, this is how you build up your vocabulary. Okay, from listenings, from text, and so on. Okay, so this is a text about butterflies. I'm reading this. Sarah Evans is enchanted by the millions of butterflies that migrate to the Sierra Madre Mountains for the winter. Okay, guys, so I'm going to ask you to give it a look. Okay, this is not easy, I have to tell you, okay? But this is what it is. Don't be depressed like, oh, I have to read a lot of things. No, it is going to be easier than that. Now we want to read everything, okay? Why? Just to see the words we don't know, okay? If you don't know, for example, the word slumber, so just do like I am doing. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to go over the text. guys, don't do the activity. Just go through the text, okay? Just read it for the gist. For the gist is to have a general view of the text. What is the text about? Okay, I don't want you to do the activity, just to listen for the gist. Okay, guys, so we're going to finish. We're going to finish. Don't worry about the text. We will continue with the text, and I will be providing you the vocabulary of the text. We will be seeing it in class, like I will be giving like the vocabulary and so on. Oops. Okay, because I touched it there. So we will see vocabulary, and we will do this part of the reading. Okay, you have tips here, but don't do it at home. I mean, the homework, I told you that I'm not asking for homework. The homework is that you get familiar with these verbs followed by ing, okay? And that you study these adjectives that are more advanced, that are new, okay? And this if you want to read it, just read it, but for the gist. This is the migrations of the butterflies to Mexico and how they live and how they hatch and die, all of these. And that's it, but don't do it because we're going to do it in class the following day. I'm going to write it down. Okay. So guys, that's it. I'm going to put the camera for you to see my face when I say goodbye. But well, this is not necessary. But anyway, guys, have a nice weekend, and hope to see you next day.
You too.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye bye, guys. And any
Bye.
doubt, just write it in the chat the following
Bye.
day. Okay. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Have a
Thank
nice
you.
weekend.
You too, guys. Bye bye.